Hi, I'm David, and today we're going to talk about feeling your role in a studio. One of the greatest things about the music industry is that every single session, every client, every day is completely different. This keeps things fresh and exciting, but as interns, this leaves a lot of room for error because, again, no two engineers, no two producers or clients are the same. For example, when I was working at OmniSound in Nashville, a couple songwriters came in and they were very accomplished songwriters. While this made me excited to talk to them, it obviously made me very nervous too. At this point, after setting up their session, I walked to the back of the room and started to feel my role. By this I mean reading people's actions, what they're saying, even their eye movement can tell you the best thing you can do as an intern. And during soundcheck, I noticed that the singer kept looking at me, wondering who I was and why I was there if I wasn't directly operating the machines. Because I could tell he was uneasy about me being there, I decided that the best thing I could do is just leave the room. Now I left the room, but that doesn't mean I was gone, I didn't leave the studio, I was sitting outside the room just waiting until they needed something. While this meant I didn't get to sit in on the session, it was a good idea to do what I did because that session went very smoothly. However, a couple days later, a producer came in, and one of the engineers asked me if I wanted to sit in on the session. Now, this producer was very talkative, interested in what I was saying, answering all my questions, and at this point, I felt my role and knew that I was welcome and okay to be in that room. Because I could tell that there was no issue with me being there, I stayed, and eventually he had me tracking his parts. So feeling your role in a room is incredibly important in the music industry. If people seem uncomfortable with you being in the room, that is completely normal and you should totally not feel bad about that. Now, the most important things for figuring out your role are just listening and observing. Now, there are essentially 4 roles that you can have in a session: the runner, the observer, the assistant, and the engineer. Now, as the runner, you would be outside the room and just waiting until they needed anything. Rules for the runner: your job is to get things done the fastest and the least invasive way possible. This means you don't try to stay longer than it seems you're welcome, and you are crazy polite because every session's going to go better with a lighthearted runner. As the observer, you can be in the control room, but you do not do anything distracting. Here's the biggest rule for the observer: do not, unless directly asked, state your opinion on anything. Be relaxed, get into the music, and make sure to thank whoever let you be there afterward. As the assistant, you'll actually be operating some things and be hands-on in the session. Rules for the assistant: double check everything ever, and watch for ways you can take care of things that need done before you have to be asked. For instance, in that session that I was tracking the producer's parts, I went ahead and cross-faded those punches before he even came in and asked me to. This saved a lot of time and he was very thankful. As the engineer, you get to be highly involved, run the session, and work directly with the client. Rules for the engineer: be positive and supportive, and be relaxed. You're playing a very vital role. Hopefully this clears things up with your different roles in the studio and how to find what your role is. See you next time.